fellow travelers, Mike here with Walter's World, and today we're in Heidelberg, Germany, and today we're staying at the Kulturbrauerei Heidelberg. This is a hotel and restaurant and brewery all together, so you can combine everything in one go. Now, I want to tell you, if you're going to be staying here in Heidelberg, this is very nice. It's in the Kern Altstadt, we're like the center Old Town, which is really, really nice. So you have tons of restaurant options nearby. This super long pedestrian, shopping street is just around the corner there. Some nice squares. It is a nice location, I will tell you that. Now remember though, if you're coming to Heidelberg, the train station's like 2 kilometers down the way, so you might have to take public transportation, or you got a long walk with a lot of cobblestones to get here from the station. So do be aware of that, okay? Now, one thing that's really nice is since we're attached to a restaurant, boom, you always have a place to grab a drink or their beer, which is actually pretty good. We're here during asparagus season, so the food in the Brauhaus, the Kulturbrauerei, is actually really good, so you'll be fine there. You'll eat very well. Big portions, okay? Now, in terms of the room, well, I guess we should show you the room, but before I tell you that, I will tell you there's multiple parts of the hotel. There's multiple buildings, so you might not be in this building. You might be in this building over here, and that's where we're at. But if you're looking for the check-in is right here. That's where the front desk is, so you go in there. That is the entrance to the restaurant. And if you come in, you're not sure where to go, just pass people at the restaurant. They're very friendly. They'll tell you, oh, hotel check-in is right here, all right? Now, hotel check-in, the lady was super nice. We were speaking German, but she saw I was with my mom, so she switched to perfect English. She's like, we'll do that for your mom. I'm like, all right, no problem. She's like, you don't need to translate. I can do it for you. So it was very friendly. So overall staff, very friendly, very nice. But let's go and show you the room so you can see what I have, because I have a single room, but it's got 2 beds, but 1 blanket. So I'll show you that. Let's go inside. So let's see the room. Now, it is a pretty standard hotel room. I think Jocelyn made a really great point, is if you're in this place, if you're in this room, it really feels like you're in a cruise cabin. It is how it's set up. It has, the flat screen TV, everything's kind of put where it can be very efficient, very German, okay? So let's get to the elephant in the room. Just like all German hotels, yes, if you have a double room, it is 2 single beds pushed together, okay? Now, this one was a single, so hence why I only have 1 duvet. So if there was 2 people here, they'd have 2 duvets, because remember, in Germany, it's efficiency. If I move a lot in bed, the person in the other bed, they don't have that problem. Or also, 2 duvets mean Jocelyn can't steal my duvet, she has her own. So that is one of those things that's nice. Now, in terms of the sleeping quality, if you can sleep in a single bed like that, it's fine. I mean, it doesn't feel like it's been used 1,000 times over like some beds you get in hotels. So I gotta give respect, I gotta give props for that. That was fine. In terms of doing work when you're here, they do have a workspace, but you have to realize Heidelberg is very much a tourist city, not a work city. So they have that there, which is hard to work with the TV over the top. I will give you that. Also, if you notice, looking around, there's no plug here. You have to go underneath the plug. Underneath the plug. There's 1 plug over there. Not a ton of plugs if you're looking to charge things or you'd be working on things. Also, this is a German hotel, so remember, and there's one here, boom, you got to put your card to keep the electricity on. Once you take it out, the electricity's off. So if you need to charge devices while you're gone, you need to put some other card there. But remember, you got to be careful what cards you leave. If you leave your Costco card there and they come in and clean, they might think it's theirs and it's gone, and now you got to get a new Costco card. So be aware of that. Now, in terms of space to put your stuff, now they do have, the standard little place that to put your suitcase. Worked really well, very well for me. Also, you have your big Chesterfield here, which does have, you're safe if you want to use that, though Heidelberg is extremely safe. You're not really worried too much about it, but in case you need that extra duvet, to make it as a double room, it was right there. I didn't want to use it. I don't make more work for the cleaning staff, so that's fine. Cleaning staff was very nice. They cleaned up very well. I mean, it is Germany. They do a nice job. Everything was cleaned up. I cannot complain about the cleanliness in this hotel at all. It is spotless, which is really cool. Not worried about getting gross stuff in the showers either. Oh, I'll show you the bathroom, So obviously old building retrofitted where they put the shower in, but you can at least, it's a little step. My parents have a bathtub with a handheld shower thing, so that's a little bit different. A little area for your toiletries and things. Worked just fine for me. I mean, with 2 people, it'd be a little snug, but it's fine. So there is that. In terms of the ambiance in the room, very staid. And my room actually faces out onto the outdoor eating area. So in the evening time, it can be a bit, not loud, but like you'll hear people. And if you're on the other side on one of the open streets, you will hear people merrymaking and things, so it can be a little loud. Because remember, in Germany, they always like to have their windows open a little bit, so you may leave your window closed. It'll probably be open when you come back to get the Lüften, so be aware of that. Now, one thing I think is really important to mention is there's multiple buildings they have in the Kulturbrauerei for their hotel part. So I'm just in one of the parts, kind of by the check-in desk. Like the check-in desk, I think, is actually right below me, or like right over there. So you have that. But there are other parts. What's nice is I'm here with my parents, and my dad needs a little bit more help, so they didn't have elevators to get us to the rooms. However, my room's actually up an elevator, then down some steps. So if you have limited mobility, please indicate that to them when you do book your room, so they put you on the right floor so you can be there. Now, one of the things that's really nice is the bar, the brewery is literally in the hotel, and so you can go there. That's where the restaurant is. There's the brewery, you can go there. Also, breakfast is there. I'll show you the breakfast, but the breakfast is 20 euros per person. It's a bit much. I won't lie to you. Like usually German hotels, I'm used to like free breakfast and they're like 20 each. I'm like, whoa. And the thing is, if you want like scrambled eggs or anything, you have to ask for it. They don't actually bring it up to you. It's actually on the menu in front of you when you sit down. But the thing is, you don't speak German, you wouldn't know that. So be aware that they do have the buffet line to get your, your bread and your rolls and your, cold cuts, because it is Germany. But if you want eggs, you got to go ask them for it. So like, Rührei is scrambled eggs, and they'll hook you up, and they're pretty good. So that was nice. Overall, the staff, very friendly, very helpful. I actually saw the staff. There was an old man had fallen in front of the restaurant hotel, and the staff was there helping him until the ambulance came. Like, I got to give props, man. The staff's been very friendly. Like, we've gone over to eat across the way a couple times, and then for breakfast too. Very not the type, like, and for Germany to say nice staff in German, that's like saying something. So like, that's incredible. But overall, really pleasant experience. If you want to eat at the restaurant, they have indoor, outdoor seating depending on the time of year you're here. But the food is actually pretty good, and you can get really like traditional dishes from Heidelberg as well. So that's kind of cool. So you can eat well. So I'll show some of the food we had when we're here. But yeah. But though it may be a little German when it comes to breakfast, you can't beat the location. It's in the restaurant for breakfast, and you have a nice big hall, so you don't get the whole table to yourself. You might share with some other people. So a good way to meet the locals, because a lot of Germans do stay here. Overall, a really nice experience staying here. The location, you're at the very, very end of the pedestrian street. Remember, this is like the longest pedestrian street in Germany, the longest pedestrian shopping, like one of the longest in all of Europe. So you're at the very end of it, okay? So if you would go to the other side, it's a long way. So you're like over 2 kilometers from the train station, which I think I mentioned outside. So rides, those kind of things. Do be aware of that. That's going to be one of the little impacting factors when you're here. But, in terms of the heating and air conditioning, I have not seen anything that lets me control any of the heating or any of the cooling when I'm here. So that's something I kind of want to mention to you, because, it does get warm here in the summertime, so be aware of that. So another drawback I got to say about the hotel is the Wi-Fi. Where I am, it is very spotty. So when I was trying to do WhatsApp calls to Jocelyn back home, I always had unstable connection and it would drop off a lot. So do be aware that if you need to do a lot of heavy streaming for work, like I was not going to upload any of my YouTube videos. That was just not happening. I could watch YouTube, that was fine. But I did know like some people really need to know like the bandwidth kind of stuff. Not very good bandwidth, or at least not very steady bandwidth. Now, other parts of the hotel might be better, but where my room was, it was not, so I didn't really do too much work. However, when I needed to check emails, if I was, like I said, streaming stuff, that worked fine. So for your basic internet stuff, it's good. However, I just want to give you the heads up, if you are one of those digital nomads that like literally is going through gigabytes of data, their internet's not going to, they can't handle it, just to give you the heads up. So in terms of times you might want to know, so breakfast. Okay, breakfast is from 7 to 10 on weekdays. On weekends and holidays, it's 8 to 10:30. Okay, so you have different times for that, so be aware of that. In terms of checkout time, it's funny, it says from 9 until 11. So 11 o'clock is checkout time, you have that. The restaurant, if you want to go to eat at the restaurant across the street, that opens at 12, okay? Now, in terms of check-in, 3, 4 o'clock is around that time. However, they were very friendly. Like, we got here early. We were here like at noon, and they're like, hey, actually, one of your rooms is already ready, not both of them. So they actually gave us the key to the first room without having to pay anything extra. So got to bring our stuff up here, freshen up before we went out to the city. So that was very nice. And then I think another timing thing is important. The reception for the hotel is actually only open from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. So if you need to like leave early in the morning to get things done, you need to do it the day before during the day to make sure everything's there. But they do have a number for you to call if there are any issues. So that can be helpful there. But overall, Hotel was fine. I enjoyed my stay here. Hopefully this helps you know if the Kulturbrauerei Hotel is good for you. Because the restaurant, the Brauhaus, is worth going to too. Bye.